Hello everybody, welcome to this new video. It's basically just about news, basically like daily news part 2. Anyways, today's news is gonna be the Russian-Ukraine situation, basically, you know what I mean? Yeah, my boy Putin right there. So here I'm reading this off the Guardian, as you can see right there. If that ever focuses, these cameras, eh? Will that ever focus? Will that ever fucking focus? What a shitty ass thing. Focus, you little wanker, you. Jesus. Well, I guess more focus, boys. Will it focus from here? Doesn't matter. Anyways, Putin accuses NATO of ignoring Russia's concerns as Ukraine crisis simmers. No, but this is fake news media, so I wouldn't trust everything over this website. Russian president forced public comments on response to Moscow's proposals come in readout of phone call with Macron. Vladimir Putin said the US and its NATO allies had ignored Russia's main security concerns but promised to continue talks with the West in accord with Emmanuel Macron and amid simmering tensions over possible war in Ukraine. In its first public comments on US and NATO responses to Russian proposals to rewrite the post-Cold War security architecture, Putin said Moscow's concerns about the expansion of NATO and the deployment of strike weapons near its borders had not been taken into account. According to a Kremlin readout of the phone call with his French counterpart, Macron told Putin that Russia had to respect the sovereignty of states. According to the LC, Putin agreed to continue talks, so there was a feeling that things had moved. A French press official said the Pentagon said the Russian military buildup around Ukraine was unprecedented since the end of the Cold War and if unleashed would cause horrific casualties. The US had called a UN Security Council meeting on Monday for Russia to explain its military operations. The diplomatic maneuvers came as Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, sorry if I butchered your name bro, suggested the White House was panicking about an imminent Russian attack. More than 100,000 Russian troops had massed at the border with Ukraine, prompting the US President pedophile Joe Biden to tell Zelensky on Thursday there was a distant possibility that the Russians could invade Ukraine in February. Asked about the call, Zelensky, sorry about your name boy, said he did not consider the situation more tense than before. There is a feeling, bro, that there is a war here. That's not the case, he said. I am not saying an escalation is not possible, but we don't need this panic. Europeans have taken more cautious approach to predictions of Russian attack than Washington. The head of Germany's Foreign Intelligence Service said on Friday that the Russian was not yet fixed on an invasion, although it was prepared. I believe that the decision to attack has not yet been made, Bruno Kahl told Reuters. Whatever the fuck their name is. In Washington, the chairman of the US Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mike Milley, agreed. We don't think final decision had been made. However, Milley said the current buildup of the Russian troops was greater than anything we've seen in recent memory. Given the type of forces that are arrayed, the ground maneuver forces, the artillery, the ballistic missiles, the air forces, all of it packaged together, if there was an unleashed of Ukraine, it would be significant, very significant, the general said. He added that such an operation would lead to heavy casualties, especially in urban areas. It would be horrific, it would be terrible, Milley said, and it's not necessary. In the call with Macron lasting longer than an hour, Putin said the US and NATO had not taken into account Moscow's fundamental concerns about the expansion of NATO deployment of strike missiles near the Russian border. Washington and European capitals rejected Russia's demand to veto Ukraine's NATO membership, but set out proposals on other ways to improve the security on the continent in the unpublished documents. The key question was ignored, Putin was reported to have said. According to the Kremlin statement, the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe and Russia's relationship with NATO, the Russian president went on to say were based on the principle that no one should strengthen their security at the expense of other countries. The Russian leader also promised to carefully study the news and NATO written responses and continue a Russian-French dialogue with the entire range of European security questions. Putin told the French leader Russia would continue talks in so-called Normandy format that brings together representatives from France, Germany, Ukraine and Russia following talks earlier this week between the quartet of countries. Putin told Macron that the French president was the only one who he could have such a serious discussion with, according to French presidency source. Macron's a muppet. There was disagreement, but agreement in the necessity for dialogue, and that the Europeans and France are part of the ongoing dialogue. So the French official dialogue is difficult and there were no solution from this call. That's practically the whole article. There's a lot more to the article, but if you want to read the rest of the article, go ahead. Anyways, I think Russia is just defending itself, to be honest. I don't think they're the, bad guys. Vladimir is a good guy. I think Biden's the prick right here. There is going to be a World War III. You know, sleepy Biden fell asleep on that button whilst thinking about kiddies. Anyways, thank you for watching this video, boys. I did have another video recorded with me playing games, but the recording messed up, and yeah, that's that. Anyways, don't play with your Mickeys, and shalom alaikum.